Hi guys, it's Kathy. Welcome back. I know some of you just left a few minutes ago, but we're here again. Bright and early, dark and early, or very, very late, wherever you are. Hopefully you're all pain-free, maybe. Hopefully if you're not pain-free, the doctors have hooked you up with something. Or take some Tylenol. Or does that make it worse? Does that aggravate it? Oh my gosh. Bill. Hi, Bill. Bill, we're going to see you in a couple hours. We're going to see Judge Fleischer in your stream. If I'm awake. It's been a while since I slept, so I might not be awake. Alright, we're going to have one clip today. One courtroom, one problem. Grandparents want visitation. Grandma may or may not have said something bad about Mom to CPS when there was an investigation. And Mom did nothing wrong. But there's no verdict in this. The judge takes everything under advisement. But I'm pretty sure we can figure out exactly what the judge is going to rule just based on law. So, here we go.
I believe we're ready to proceed on a evidentiary hearing for grandparent visitation, Your Honor.
And have you guys met and tried to work out any differences?
We had a settlement conference via Zoom that was not successful in reaching resolution.
Okay. Are there any preliminary issues we need to address?
Your Honor, the father, Michael Cooper, is not present. My understanding is that he sent a notarized statement to the court, which has not arrived yet. He sent it either certified or registered, so he was tracking it. It has not yet arrived. I have a copy, which I can submit to the court, and it should be arriving within the next day or two.
Okay.
A little unusual, I understand.
A little unusual. Ms. Doty, any preliminary things we need to address?
Not from mother's perspective, Your Honor. I have not seen a copy of this statement that is alluded to, so I certainly would object if it's an evidentiary hearing and a statement that's going to be admitted for evidentiary purposes, but again, nothing to address from others.
Okay. Guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it as far as the statement. There's no audience, so we don't need to deal with the separation of witnesses apparently. So counsel, if you're ready, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll start by calling my one of the petitioners, Deborah Cooper.
You step forward to the witness stand.
Monica, you made Eileen say snap. Come on now, be nice. Yes, we played Judge Fleischer last night, but you saw it all. It's nothing new. You saw it in Bill's stream.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I swear. I swear.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Please be seated. Counsel?
Can you please state your name for the record?
Deborah Cooper.
And you go by
Debbie.
Debbie?
Yes, I go by Debbie.
Okay. And you are familiar with Paisley?
Yes.
What's Paisley's last name?
Paisley Faith Bottom Cooper.
And she's related to you?
She's my granddaughter.
How are you? I'm sorry. Is she your granddaughter through your son?
Yes.
And that would be Michael Cooper.
Yes.
Who's Paisley's mother?
Michaeline. Micah.
And she's here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Thank you.
Were Michael and Micah ever married?
No.
Was Michael's paternity established for Paisley?
Yes.
Your Honor, I request judicial notice of 46 D02 2410 DC 373.
Should I try banana bread coffee this morning? don't know. That sounds sketchy, doesn't it?
You're asking me to take judicial notice of all of the entries in that cause of action?
Yeah, just the overall record in that matter, Your Honor.
Well, we'll take judicial notice of its own record.
And just for clarification, that is a cause number that registered a paternity finding here in Indiana. How long have you known Paisley?
Since she was born.
And how old is she now?
She'll be 6 in April.
When Paisley was first born, how often were you seeing her?
Jude, you just scared I thought, poor Granny. I thought the thing went through twice. It charged her card twice. My heart dropped because I don't know how to give a refund. I think you can do it yourself, though. I think you can take back money if you give it in chat. But, Jude, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. I'm getting banana bread coffee. I'm just going to do it.
When she was first born, we would go down to Micah's residence on the coast of Mississippi on occasion to see her when she was very tiny, and Micah breastfed, so
No,
she would come to our home
it's a different
and
thing.
let us visit with her some until she was a little bit older. And then every time Michael had her, she was at our house, even though he had his own house. She stayed at our house on and off a lot for 4 years, the first 4 years of her life.
And can you describe what kind of relationship you developed with Paisley during that time?
I'm Nana, and he's Papa. Love her to death. Still do.
And you always will.
What sort of
No one disagrees with that. Everybody agrees that you love this child. Thank you, Monica. I'm just kind of a little upset that none of you spelled it untie. I'm just, that word? Almost every time I type that word, I type untie. Or write it. I could be writing it with a pencil. Untie.
activities did you do with Paisley when you saw her?
Oh, we'd take her fishing at our land. Everything we did, she went with us. We have a huge family in Bunker Hill, Mississippi, and she would go with us and play with her cousins. And I have a designated room in my house. I have other granddaughters. I have an older granddaughter who's now 10. So we have a designated girls' room because I'm the mom of 2 boys. And Paisley had her toys still there. We have a swimming pool. We have lots of family gatherings where they come over and swim. Just normal family stuff.
And you said that was for about 4 years.
Yes. 4
And
years.
she's almost 6 now.
Yes.
So after those first 4 years, what did contact with Paisley look like?
After that, we did get to FaceTime some with her until about a year ago. And a year ago, we haven't been able to talk to her at all.
During those first 4 years, were Micah and Paisley living in Mississippi that entire time?
No, she had moved up here to be with her family. I believe her stepfather was sick, and she moved back up here to help out with him. And we FaceTimed a lot. Around Halloween, she sent me pictures of her costume and what she was doing, and we talked with her, checked on her when it was bad weather and stuff and snow, and just checked in. Not every day. It was like once a week or every other week.
And what was your level of involvement in birthdays, holidays, special occasions, things like that?
Before, when she lived in Mississippi, we had a birthday party because we have a lot of family. All the nieces and nephews have kids that are all ages 12 and under, some younger than her, and they would all come over and we would have a party and theme party and swim party and stuff for her and things. And after that, we would send cards or gifts in the mail until we couldn't.
And when were you no longer able to send cards and gifts?
After the court, when Michael had to do supervised visitation in Indiana, we sent some, and then Micah moved. We don't know her address now to send them, but I do send through Messenger.
For approximately how long were you regularly FaceTiming with Paisley?
Up until April of last year. She would allow us when it was convenient, when she wasn't in school, when it was a good night, when she didn't have ball or something. Wasn't a lot, but it was when Tim would come home like every 2 weeks, once a month, twice a month, maybe.
And why did those FaceTime calls stop?
We don't really know. We was trying to plan to come up here, me and Papa alone, to visit with her. We were getting excited and we planned it right up to the night that we were supposed to go. And she just said it was not in her best interest, I believe is what it said at that time. And then she stopped communicating with us altogether.
When you say she, you mean Micah?
Yes, we never spoke. Paisley's too young. It was always through the mom.
Do you want to know why, Brent? Do you want to know why my streams all seem to be from Indiana or Georgia? Because all the other channels do Michigan, Washington, the other parts of Georgia. My Georgia's different. My clips aren't just recirculated from other channels. It's why you poor people, if you're only watching this, you don't get to see Judge Simpson. He's goat. And you don't get to see Judge Webster. Oh, she's great. You don't get to see all the big Michigan judges because I don't play them here because everybody else plays the same clips over and over and over and over again all day long. But these clips, no one else is playing. Every once in a while, I'll see an Indiana judge on, like Judge Fish. I think I saw Judge Eric Johnson from Colorado on someone else's channel, but they don't recirculate those clips. I do have news about Judge Eric Johnson, though. The reason why he hasn't been streaming, he was moved to civil court. Now, in Colorado, the judges get moved often. So, hey, oh, you're right, Bill. You play Judge Fleischer. No one else ever plays him. But you play Judge Fleischer the right way. You have his whole live stream every day. Whether you like it or not, Bill. Every day. But, Colorado, the judges move frequently, and Judge Johnson did a good job. He did. You can tell because he did a couple trials. We saw a couple trials with him. If a judge is doing trials in Colorado, they're going to come back to the criminal docket very quickly. Yeah, I mean, people don't tune in though, Ben, because I talk too much, and I paused it and I'm talking right now. I don't care. But Bill doesn't talk at all in Judge Fleischer's stream, not one word. He'll chat, but he never pauses it, ever. There's no pause. Bill, tomorrow pause it. No, don't do that. Everybody get mad at me.
Have you continued to request visits or FaceTime?
Yes, but she doesn't answer.
Was there any period of time where you stopped requesting visits or FaceTime?
No, I tried not to bother her too much because I know that Paisley's in school and we've heard she's had a new baby, and I know that's a lot to handle and work. So we try not to aggravate her too much, but I try to contact her when Papa's home.
And what method do you use to contact Micah?
I just text the phone number that I have, and sometimes I try Messenger just to see if maybe she would answer. That's all.
And you mean Facebook Messenger?
Yes. I used to have a Samsung phone, and that's the only thing you could use, but now I have iPhone, but I try it anyway.
May I approach the witness?
Tammy,
Show you what
Dave
Mark
Baker,
Petitioner's Exhibit
yes.
1. You can go through those pages.
Blast from our past.
Do you recognize what's depicted there?
Yes, those are my messages.
Your messages within,
Micah.
and that's 4 pages of text messages.
And Messenger, I think. I'm not for sure. I can't really tell if it's Messenger or text, but
But those are
from me. Yeah.
written
Jude,
messages
thank
you
you.
exchanged with
Thank
Micah.
you, Jude.
Yes.
Is that a true and accurate copy of your text messages with Micah?
Yeah, but Nan, hold on a second. You got to see it from both sides. I am not on the mom's side. I am not on the grandparents' side. All I know is this woman on the stand called CPS about some bruises and didn't say I saw mom do it, but made it sound like to CPS that mom did it. Yep, she did.
Yes.
Move to admit petition of felony.
And CPS took the kids from mom for a few days. Took the kids from mom for a few days.
Just taking a moment to review, Your Honor. Can I have a second to chat with my client?
You may.
Thank you. No objection.
It is admitted.
And in those messages, would you say the bulk of them were about requesting contact with Paisley? Yeah, make sure you answer about that.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Are any of those messages between you and Micah argumentative or insulting in any way?
No.
Next, going to show you what I've marked as Petitioner's Exhibit 2, which is different. Can you look through that and let me know when you finished?
Yeah, that's my messages.
So you recognize that?
Yes.
The only thing that worries me about this kind of a trial is if you're a grandparent and you see suspicious bruises on your grandchildren, yeah, you should tell someone. Absolutely. 100% tell someone. But then it's possible. I mean, the law is the law. It goes parents' rights, grandparents' rights. Unless the grandparents can prove, harm.
Is that a different set of messages than what we've already presented?
Yeah, this is when she was communicating with us. She would answer, and that's the thing. When we were planning to come see Paisley.
And those are also messages with Micah?
Yes.
A true and accurate copy of your messages with Micah?
Yes.
Move to admit Petitioners 2.
No objection.
2 is admitted.
Is there any kind of arguing or insulting going on in those messages?
No.
Would you agree that most of those are about contact with Paisley?
Yes.
You mentioned April of last year as when communication stopped. Is that the last time you had any contact with Paisley?
Yes. It may have been March when I actually had FaceTime with Paisley physically. I talked with Micah in April, I believe.
Why are you asking the court to order that you can visit with your granddaughter?
She's part of my life. We love her.
You have an emotional bond with Paisley?
Yes.
Are you seeking to replace Micah as Paisley's mother?
No.
Are you asking for a modest schedule for contact with Paisley?
Yes. Anything.
And you would agree that negative comments about Micah or any other family members would be inappropriate around Paisley, correct?
I agree, correct. I would not do that to my granddaughter or to Micah.
What specific sort of visitation terms are you requesting the court to impose?
Well, we'd love to be able to FaceTime with her on occasion. We'd love to come up here and see her during the summer, maybe once, or, on occasion. We're not asking for her to come to Mississippi yet until she gets old enough or her mother will allow. Maybe one day, but not right now.
You're not asking to take Paisley out of the area in which she resides?
No.
And you're not asking for daily or even weekly phone contact?
Just on occasion, every other week when Papa's home from work, we could both see her, talk to her, check on her, find out about her school, and her do her cheers for us again.
Is Paisley currently visiting with her father on any regular basis?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you know if she's visiting with him at all?
I don't know.
And to the extent the court has imposed any restrictions on father's time, are you willing to respect those and abide by those?
Yes.
You're not seeking to use your visitation as a substitute for your son?
No, sir.
In your opinion, what does Paisley lose if she doesn't have contact with you and your husband?
Well, my opinion is she deserves to have our love, and we deserve to have hers.
I don't remember a point growing up where I didn't have scabs on my elbows, on my knees, and bruises pretty much everywhere because I went outside and played.
I feel family is very important. All of your family.
No further questions.
Ms. Dugan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, let me ask you about your son, Michael. And actually, let me back up. You mentioned you have two sons. So you have Michael and Matthew. Is that correct?
Correct.
Just so that I can keep everyone in context, which one's older?
Matt.
Okay, so Matthew's your oldest, Michael is your youngest, and then Michael is the father of Paisley. You mentioned some restrictions on parenting time, supervised parenting time. It's your understanding that this court ordered supervised parenting time under a protective order cause of action. Is that correct?
Supervised for Michael.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I would ask the court to take judicial notice of 4060-2, 2405, PO 151.
We'll take judicial notice of its own file.
And so, ma'am, I believe your testimony was that Michael's not exercising much, if any, visitation with Paisley. Did I hear that correctly?
To my knowledge.
Okay. Is it actually correct? He's not exercised visitation under that supervised parenting time order at all.
As far as I know.
So it's been over a year since Michael has seen his child. Is that correct?
I know he was FaceTiming at one point with her.
You don't know when that was?
I think it ended the same time she ended ours,
Okay.
but I'm not for certain.
Ah.
You would have to ask him.
So it is definitely possible that it's been over a year since he has seen his daughter. Is that accurate?
As far as I know.
Okay. And you'd agree that Paisley being 5, almost 6, but 5, that's a pretty tender age for a child. Is that accurate?
Yes.
We have a video, Bren, but you can't afford it.
You remember your kids at that age, I'm sure. Is that fair to say?
Yes. I'm sorry. I forget. I'm nodding my head. I'm not supposed to.
And you mentioned that you have a 10-year-old granddaughter,
Yes. Nadine.
Nadine, and then you have Paisley. Do you have any other grandchildren?
Yes. Sayla May. She's 3.
Let me ask you about when Micah lived in Mississippi. You indicated you would drive to her house on the coast. Approximately how big of a distance was there between your home and Micah's home?
So you see a lot of jumps here in the video because after every single question this lawyer asks, she has this real long pause, like she's reading a book. And then she asks another question, and then a real long pause. So I did cut all of them out, so you'll see it all jump. It sounds better. It doesn't look better, but it does sound better.
Maybe, well, she lived in different locations when the baby was born. She was in Biloxi, so that was a little over an hour and a half, maybe. And then she moved to McHenry to her house, which maybe 45 minutes from our home, maybe a little bit more.
And you indicated that when Paisley was young, you would visit briefly with Micah and Paisley. I think this was when Paisley was breastfeeding. Is that correct?
Yes, when she was a newborn, we would go to our house on base there and visit with the baby. And then she would drive to our home and stay when she was breastfeeding, when she was very tiny, and let me and Papa see her, and Michael would be there at that time. And then they changed to where when she was a little bit older, his time with the baby, he actually came and stayed at our house because I had
Created by AI.
nursery set up and at our home for the baby and him. She made her feel better that there was me there and everybody, but Michael was a very hands-on dad too. So
Approximately how old was Paisley when these visits began in this capacity as you're describing?
I think she was over a year, maybe a year old before that time came. She was pumping her breast. I think she was pumping her breast, or she quit breastfeeding her that time. She was on the bottle then. I think so. It's been a while. Sorry.
So you're saying this is approximately when Paisley was 1 year old that you would have time with her whenever Michael had her. Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct, correct. He stayed at our house, even though he had a home, he came to our home with her.
You testified that Micah relocated to Indiana. Approximately when did that happen, if you recall?
Maybe 2.5 years ago, maybe 3. Not quite for sure exact. She was up here a little while before they came to court again.
The last time you saw Paisley in person would have been in April of 2024. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And in April of 2024, is that when the Department of Child Services in Mississippi became involved with your son, his then girlfriend, and Paisley?
Yes.
The Mississippi Department of Child Services placed Paisley with you during their short investigation. Is that correct?
With me and Papa, yes.
Okay. And that was a few days that she was placed with you. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. So this wasn't an extended period of time. And in that, in the course of that investigation, you provided some statements or testimonies to the Mississippi Department of Child Services that you believed you observed a bruise on the child. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you accused at the time Micah of causing that bruise. Is that correct?
I did not accuse anyone. We didn't know who did it. We only knew what Paisley told us, but that was not allowed to be said in court because of her age, I believe.
Monica, you're right. Monica, you're so right. Happy birthday, Kay. Happy birthday.
So your recollection was you didn't point a finger at anybody, but you left the door open that it could have been any of Micah or any of Paisley's caregivers, correct?
I live in Lancaster, so I've milked a lot of cows before.
Could have been, I guess.
And that included Micah, mother at the time,
Mhm.
correct?
So yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
Let me ask you about your other grandchildren very briefly, just so we can get some understanding. You initially did not identify Selah as one of your grandchildren. Do you have any contact with Selah?
Yes.
Does she live near you?
She lives near Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Okay, so she lives in the same state.
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
And Nadine lives in Florida, is that right?
Correct.
Have you initiated legal proceedings for grandparent visitation or something similar to that in Florida or Mississippi regarding Nadine and Selah?
No, I do not need to. They visit regularly. In fact, Nadine's at my house right now.
They both have contact with their fathers, though, is that correct?
Yes.
Back to Paisley. The FaceTime that you testified to, did that begin in approximately August of 2024?
I don't have my phone in front of me, so I can't remember exactly when. It was when she moved from Mississippi up there. We FaceTimed with her. We started regularly FaceTiming. You know, it was holidays, snowing, you know, asking her about things, little things like that.
What
She
about-
showed me her room upstairs in their new house.
What about koalas and kangaroos? Are those hard or easy?
And, you know, just Nana chat, normal grandparent stuff.
So April of 2024, the Mississippi Department of Child Services is involved. You have Paisley. Then Micah obtains custody of Paisley.
Mhm.
Micah and Paisley live here in Indiana. Is this all correct?
Yes, but she lived in Indiana before all that happened.
I understand. There are legal proceedings, the protective order, that result in your son having supervised parenting time, and you testified at those, correct?
Yes, I had to because I was the one who found the marks on her.
Okay. So is it fair to say that there were a lot of tensions, a lot of feelings and emotions surrounding that protective order?
Yes, it's normal.
It's normal. Okay. So then your son does not avail himself of the opportunity to have contact with his daughter. And so you begin reaching out to Micah to have FaceTime with Paisley, and that's around August of 2024. Does that timeline sound plausible to you?
I reached out constantly beforehand. The proceeding did not make a difference in it.
All right. So you're very clear though. April of 2025, that's when you last had a FaceTime with Paisley, right?
A week or so before that.
Okay. And I believe you stated the FaceTime's always involved Micah in some capacity. Is that correct?
Yes, she was always in the background and present. There was a few that I believe you're now married to Cooper. His daughter Whitley was in there doing cheers, and it was never one-on-one, just me and Paisley. They were in the background.
Was it in one of these FaceTimes that you told Paisley that Cooper and Paisley were not of the same skin?
Of the what?
Of the same skin?
You can be, but it's real hard to get down into that pouch.
No, ma'am, I've never mentioned anything about skin.
Was it in these FaceTimes that you corrected Paisley's understanding of Cooper as her father?
No, I've never corrected her of anybody being their father. I did recall after someone asking me in the last conference with you that she asked where her daddy was at one point, and I told her, she said, "Where is Michael?" And I said, "Your daddy is at work." That's the only thing I can think that might have been misinterpreted. And that's just came out normal.
You're aware, or it sounds to me like you suspect that Paisley identifies Cooper as her father. Is that fair?
Well, yeah, I have a stepmother and I call her mom. It's okay.
Can you admit that there would be confusion for Paisley at her age to be corrected or to be redirected to identify somebody else as her father?
I admit that some children need professional guidance and help and understanding that it's okay to call a stepmom mom and a stepdad dad, but to omit or dispose of relatives should be cautious. You should be cautious about it, but I'm her grandparent. I'm not her mom and dad. That's a decision between them and this court.
I dispose of relatives daily like that. See ya, you're done. I'm down to like 3 relatives.
And I would certainly follow whatever is instructed, whatever is best for the child.
Would you be surprised, knowing Paisley's age, the time period that has lapsed since you've FaceTimed her, that she doesn't ask about you?
Objection. I guess it calls for speculation.
I guess it calls for
Stoney.
speculation. Good job, lawyer. Monica, no. Instead, let's build him an account on Plenty of Fish or Match or whatever people still use nowadays. Let's build him a dating app account. Look, I have an idea. See the judge's picture right here, right now. See that? That'll be his profile picture right there. Monica, how many views he'll get? Don't play with people's feelings online. This is just a joke.
Well, I asked if she would be surprised, so it's not asking her to speculate to anyone else's state of mind or their thoughts or feelings. It's asking for her response.
Any response?
It's trying to slip in facts as a hypothetical.
Counsel, any response to that?
Eileen, she doesn't like it when I talk, so she starts meowing. She tells me to shut up. She starts
No,
to
Your
scratch
Honor,
the window,
my first
too.
response
Like,
would
get me
say-
out of here.
Overall, you can ask the question.
Well, I can only answer that based on experiences that I have had as a child of divorce at the age of 6. And then I had a stepmother come into my life at the age of 8, 7.5. You know what's in front of you and what's put there, but I did miss my mom. I did have questions. I did notice surroundings change, but I had siblings that helped me with that. But I still had my mom, my mother, later in life, and I still missed things and longed for her. So,
I would hate everybody if my name was Spooter, too. Like, what kind of name is Spooter?
I suppose that yes, I would not be surprised that she's involved in cheering and baseball and school and learning, and she has new family members up here and stuff. I would not be surprised at that, but that's because nothing of our doings. We wanted to see her and share with her and support her and love her. And we're proud of her and her accomplishments. We want to let her know that we'll always be here, no matter what.
Past witness.
Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to revisit a few of the things that you were asked on Ms. Doty and some of your answers. You were asked about the child services investigation in Mississippi, and would you agree you told them what you knew?
Yes.
And you may have left the door open for Micah to have been responsible for some bruises, right?
There was, as I recall, there were bruises and then there was the handprint. And the bruises, we were told that she tripped at her auntie's house on a hose. And that's what the bruises were for. But the handprint, that's the one that we were not allowed to say what Paisley told us.
So that's the one that you made CPS believe that Mom did. That's the one. The handprint bruise. You said Mom did?
You also left the door open that your son could have been responsible for the bruises, right?
Yes, as far as we knew, but I mean, the doctors and the reports that are in there stated that
Objection, Your Honor.
Can't tell me what the doctor said.
is Okay. Well, it's all on record.
You just told what you knew.
Yes.
And your testimony is that you continued to have FaceTime calls with Paisley even after the proceedings involving your son, the protective order and everything else.
Well, we had a short time that the attorneys told us, because I had to testify, not to talk, and then there was a delay because he worked offshore, of being able to have the actual court date up here. It kept getting put off and put off and put off. So there was a few months there that we were not allowed to, just a few. But then we resumed as soon as we could. And she did allow us to communicate, me and Papa. And as far as we knew, Michael was having regular too.
And it's reflected in the messages that were admitted as exhibits already that you coordinated a visit to Indiana to see Paisley.
Yes.
And that was
did.
in the spring of 2025.
Yes, we were going to come in March, and then it was inconvenient. Something come up, and we changed our reservations to April, all the way up to the last night. And that last night, we were packed and ready to go, leaving at 3:00 in the morning, and she sent us that she changed her mind. And that was the last time.
Since that time, has Micah given you any reasoning for why she doesn't believe you should have contact with Paisley?
She just put in there, she felt like it was not good for.
Papa is the grandfather, and he's sitting in the courtroom in sort of the orangish shirt to the left. So below, if you look at the screen, below the judge, where there are 4 people in it, or the screen right beside the judge, you can see him.
A good time. She didn't really go into detail. I asked to talk to her, but she didn't want to discuss it or wanted to talk to us. So.
And as far as addressing who Paisley refers to as dad, you acknowledge that that's not your place to decide, right?
No, it's not.
And you'll defer to whatever decision parents make, specifically that Micah makes.
Yes.
No further questions.
Any rethoughts?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may step down.
Just briefly, Your Honor, I only have a few questions for him, but I'll call Timothy Cooper as well.
Please step forward, sir. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Timothy Alton Cooper.
And you are married to Deborah Cooper?
Yes.
So Paisley's your granddaughter?
Yes.
And you heard your wife's testimony today?
Yes.
No, Monica. I would think he meant World War I. We're going to split the difference.
You agree with her that you're seeking contact with Paisley?
Yes.
Do you have any major disputes with any of the testimony you heard from her?
No.
Do you believe that you have a bond with Paisley?
Yes.
How frequently were you involved with FaceTime calls with Paisley?
Every time that I was home, that we had FaceTime, I was involved.
What do you do for a living?
I work for a major oil company in the Gulf of America on an offshore oil platform.
For the people international, he means the Gulf of Mexico.
And how frequently are you home and how frequently are you on the job site?
I work a 14 days on at work and 14 days off at home. So 14 and 14 rotation.
Were the calls ever coordinated and scheduled around your work schedule?
Yes, they would try to, plan the calls when I was home so that I could be involved.
Okay. And the visit that was scheduled to Indiana in April of 2025, was that scheduled around your work schedule as well?
Correct, so that I could be home to, with help with the travel. And
Do you agree that you're just asking for modest periodic FaceTime calls and occasional visits to Indiana to see Paisley?
that is correct. Yes.
Why do you believe that's best for Paisley?
Because we are her grandparents and we just want a normal grandparent, relationship with our granddaughter.
Do you agree that decisions like who Paisley refers to as her dad are not for you to make?
No. Do I agree?
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Would you also abide by any conditions placed on your visitation by the court?
Yes.
And you're not seeking to find some roundabout way to allow your son to have access to Paisley that he's not supposed to have, correct?
No.
I believe them when they say
No further
that,
questions?
that they're not going to let the dad see the kid. I believe
Counsel?
them.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Cooper, I heard you say that you think it's best for Paisley to have visits with you because you're her grandparents. That tells me why it's important for you to have visits with Paisley, but not why it's best for Paisley to have visits with you.
This is where Drunken Smurf comes in. Drunken Smurf gave you the exact answer. This is all you have to say. She's going to miss out on your heritage. They'll just say those words.
What does, in your contention, what does Paisley get out of having visits with you?
Because we love Paisley and Paisley loves us.
You agree and acknowledge, based on your wife's testimony, you've not seen Paisley in person since April of 2024, correct?
Correct.
Father is only allowed supervised visits right now, and he does not. He does not visit at all.
So it's been almost 2 years that you've seen Paisley in person.
Correct.
And you agreed with your wife's testimony of April 2025 was the last time you saw Paisley via FaceTime and or she saw you via FaceTime. Is that correct?
No, Nan, we didn't
Correct.
hear. All we heard was he's incarcerated or was incarcerated. We heard that the grandma right here called CPS because there was bruises. The children were taken away from the mom and given to the grandmother here for a couple days. And then mom got Paisley right back. And then dad has supervised visits. So no, they didn't tell us why.
Your son also is involved in the offshore oil business, is that correct?
Correct.
Does he work with you or at the same company as you?
No.
Okay. You don't dispute that Michael has not had any contact with Paisley in at least a year, do you?
I don't.
Nobody tell Bren, but my coffee's here. I'm going to get it. My banana bread coffee is here, guys. I hope it's not horrible. I hope I didn't make a bad decision. I'll be right back. Monica, thank you for the cheers. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't know.
When was the last time you knew Michael to have contact from Michael?
I don't know.
Pass witness.
Counsel?
No redirect.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. Any other witnesses?
Petitioner's rest.
Ms. Doty?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would call Micah Bottom. I'm sorry, Micah Hughesman to the stand.
Please step forward. You raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, I swear.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you. Could you please state your name, spell your last for the record?
Michael Marie Huseman, Husmann.
You go by Micah?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get some foundation here just so that we're all talking the same language. We've heard that you are Paisley's mom and Paisley will be 6 in April. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So she was born April of 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is Paisley your only biological child?
No, ma'am.
Okay. How many other biological children do you have?
I have one. I just had Finley.
And how old is Finley?
She'll be 4 months on Thursday.
And who is Finley's biological father?
My husband, Cooper Huseman.
Are there any other children that live in the household with you, Finley, Cooper, and Paisley?
Yes, my stepdaughter.
And what is her name?
Whitley Huseman.
How old is Whitley?
She just turned 6.
So she and Paisley are pretty close in age.
Yep, they're about a month apart.
How long has Whitley and Cooper been in Paisley's life?
Since end of September of 2023.
What is your current residence?
Union Mills, Indiana.
How long have you lived at that address?
2.5 years. October makes 3.
So you moved in there October of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've never lived anywhere else, is that fair?
When I first moved back, I did stay with my sister since I moved back in August. So until I closed on my house, I did stay with my sister. We rented out her basement, like the downstairs level.
Would that have been August of 23?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Since you've moved to 2, you've not lived anywhere else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And in August of 23, you moved back to Indiana from where?
Mississippi.
Why were you in Mississippi?
I was active duty military.
What branch?
Air Force.
How long did you serve in the Air Force?
5.5 years.
Were you always stationed in Mississippi those 5 years?
No, ma'am.
How long were you stationed in Mississippi?
4.5 years. The bulk of my career.
You heard Ms. Cooper testify that when Paisley was a newborn, you would accompany Paisley to visit with the Coopers. Do you recall that period of time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's look at that period of time. How often do you recall there being that contact between Paisley and the Coopers?
I don't recall like that exact time frame. It was kind of just whenever it was convenient with their schedule and with mine. Just Paisley was a baby and she was breastfeeding.
Were you and Michael still in a relationship at this period of time?
No, ma'am.
Would you agree with Ms. Cooper's testimony? It was either a 1.5 or 45-minute drive between your houses?
I think the 45-minute, I think is a little bit longer than that, but it's about ballpark.
Okay. So around a 1-hour drive?
Yes, ma'am.
So it isn't a situation that they had Paisley with them or you were visiting them with Paisley on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. This wasn't a consistent, regular routine thing.
No, ma'am.
And Ms. Cooper testified that at some point in time, maybe when Paisley was around a year old, Michael began bringing Paisley to them at their house. Would you agree with that or disagree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
You would agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Would you agree that Michael typically would bring Paisley to his parents during his time with Paisley?
Yes.
You yourself, do you recall any instances when you reached out to the Coopers for childcare for Paisley?
I know once I had in my nursing boards, like my exam. So I did reach out to them then, and she took care of her for the day so I could take my nursing test. But other than that, I can't recall like an exact situation.
Okay. When did you take your nursing boards?
Oh my gosh, these are hard questions. Sorry. February of maybe 22, I believe.
So is it fair to say that when you and Paisley lived in Mississippi, if it was Michael's time, he would ensure there was contact between Paisley and his parents?
Yes, from my understanding.
You heard Miss Cooper testify that when you relocated to Indiana, you had some FaceTime calls with Paisley and the Coopers. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
You would agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
How frequently were those FaceTime calls happening?
I don't think there was like an exact like parameter. It was just whenever it was convenient, or if there was a holiday or something, I would try to accommodate.
So, the law in Indiana is absolutely on mom's side. Okay, so for no reason whatsoever, mom can legally say no more visitation, period. And then the grandparents can take that to court. But it's hard. It's really hard. They have to prove that they had this special relationship with this child before mom stopped visitation. They have to prove that by them not having a relationship with this child, it's harmful to the child. It's creating harm. And they have to prove that them not being able to visit is not in the child's best interest. So they can't just say, I love her, she loves me. That doesn't win in court, but legally that doesn't cut it. They have to prove those things. Now, I don't know. They did have FaceTimes before. I think that's the biggest one. They were communicating with her over FaceTime. Grandma said, if you remember, I want her to show us her cheers again. So she showed that she had a relationship with Paisley before the visitation ended, and they did not hit on why it's in the child's best interest, though. They just glossed right over that one. And you really got to nail it if you're the grandparents, because you have literally no rights.
Do you recall how long those FaceTimes were?
At the time, she was only like 3, so it was just like a hit or miss whether she was, fully interested in the FaceTime or whether she had, distractions. So I'd say anywhere between maybe 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 25, or actually maybe like 5 to 25, just depending on when. But I facilitate them. So
you were present for all of those calls?
Yes, she wasn't able to work video chat on her own.
Banana bread coffee is pretty darn good. It's not flavored banana bread syrup. So it's not sickening sweet. It tastes like coffee. It tastes delicious like coffee. It's banana bread coffee. You should try it.
Then was in 2023 and until April of 24, was Michael having Paisley, was he visiting with her in person?
Yes, we had an agreement through the courts.
How often was that visiting in person happening?
I want to say it was every 3 weeks because he did work offshore.
That's because most old people in Pennsylvania totally suck, Kay. They're just nasty, mean, bad people.
We would meet halfway in Nashville for exchange.
And again, that time frame would have been August of 23 to April of 24.
Yes, ma'am.
April of 2024 then is when Mississippi Department of Child Services gets in contact or comes in contact with you and your family. Is that correct?
I think so.
They actually never contacted me. It was Indiana CPS or DHS that reached out to me. They had opened up a case here as well.
Okay. What's your understanding of the reason that Mississippi DCS was involved with Paisley?
They were notified of like markings on Paisley. And I guess like I was named. So I was, sorry, this is a really hard topic. But I was like beamed, so they had to like look through everything for me.
Is that also why DCS in Indiana was involved from your understanding?
Yes, they were notified.
So same instance or series of instances gave rise to both of those agencies being involved. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay. In April of 2024, you came to know that Paisley was in the care of the Coopers. Is that correct?
Yes.
How did you go about obtaining Paisley back into your custody?
We had like I drove down there and then I was told I couldn't pick Paisley back up. So then I drove back to Indiana and I waited for a court date, which I believe was like 2 days. They had moved courts. So we had to have a different like court to do it all. And so we had to wait until after that court date. And then the Coopers, Tim and Debbie had met me in Nashville to get Paisley back.
And that was the last time that the Coopers saw Paisley in person. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And
So am I, Kay. So
in
am I.
April of 2024, were there FaceTime calls between Paisley and the Coopers?
No, April 2024. No, that's when everything had stopped. Once I had gotten her back, things had like essentially gone silent until all the CPS stuff was handled.
You say they'd gone silent, the Coopers?
Yes.
When did FaceTime calls resume then between Paisley and the Coopers?
She had reached back out August of 2024. Once the protective order hearing had happened.
August 24 until April of 25, were there only FaceTime calls between Paisley and the Coopers then?
Yes, only FaceTimes.
Approximately how frequently were those FaceTimes?
I tried to do it like whenever they would ask, like if Mr. Tim was home or if it was a holiday or Paisley's birthday, then I would try to, facilitate a FaceTime.
Facilitating those FaceTimes, was that disruptive to your day-to-day?
Yes, just because Paisley had gone through a lot at one time. And so explaining stuff like that to a 4-year-old is pretty challenging. So, just like having to almost do like a summary before the FaceTime for her to like get her ready was a little bit, tolling.
So you're saying before FaceTime calls, you would have to explain to Paisley what the phone call was going to be about, who she was going to talk to, things like that?
Right.
Is that true for every call in that time period?
Yeah. To like refresh almost her memory of like everything and just kind of tell her how things were going to go and, that she's going to be FaceTiming and stuff like that.
Approximately how long would those calls last?
Again, probably like between 5 and 25 minutes. If she was really into the phone call, then however long she needed to.
You were always present for them?
Yes.
You mentioned that Paisley had gone through a lot all at once. Was there ever a period of time, sorry, let me ask you this. When are you referring to her going through a lot?
Pretty much since like all the CPS stuff started in April 2024. Pretty much since then it was like not, standard for a 4-year-old.
Paisley's demeanor after the FaceTime calls, describe what her demeanor was like after those FaceTime calls.
I would say just like confused, like
like, I guess just unsure, you know, a lot had changed and just like, I don't know, you could almost see like the little like motor turning in her, like, you know, questions, you know, or things like that. I don't know, maybe almost like, I don't really know how to explain it, I guess, just more of like confusion, just like unsure and just kind of like a lot had changed.
Did Paisley ever cry after those FaceTime calls ended?
Yeah, I mean, when she had, like would have questions or like if there was anything about like her current family dynamic, you know, that she saw day to day, she would get a little bit maybe frustrated.
Were you ever worried that the Coopers were correcting Paisley in those FaceTime calls regarding her family dynamic?
Yes.
When did you become concerned about that?
Probably around like, I mean, I was concerned overall, like throughout the whole thing, but it got to a point where it was like, was this beneficial for her overall well-being? Probably March or April of 2025. Just some of the comments that Paisley would make, or, you know, were just like totally different.
You're saying some of the comments that Paisley made to you gave you some concern about whether those FaceTime calls were in her best interest.
Right.
Those statements that Paisley made then, did they have an impact on your decision to tell the Coopers that you would no longer have FaceTimes with them?
Yes. At one point we actually thought about whether maybe she needed like some sort of therapy to kind of like adjust to everything or what. So at that time I just decided it was time to create a little bit of distance and, you know, see how that affected Paisley like in a positive light.
What statements did Paisley make to you that gave you concern about those FaceTime calls?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Your Honor, I am offering it for effect on the listener. She indicated that these statements, when they were made to her, led to her decision to suspend this FaceTime contact.
Sustained.
You indicated that you thought about having Paisley enrolled in therapy,
Yes.
and you ultimately decided that creating some distance between Paisley and the Coopers could be beneficial to her.
Correct.
Did you notice a change in Paisley's demeanor, behavior after severing those FaceTime calls?
Yes.
Describe that change in Paisley's demeanor.
I feel like she felt more confident. She was more like structured. She just overall seems more confident. I mean, you ask her family dynamic and she can spit it out for you super fast. She can spell her, you know, her siblings' names, her dad's name, who she refers to as her dad. So just, I feel like she had a more of an understanding, you know, it was as much of an understanding that a 3 through 6 year old can have.
Would you agree it's a hard age for Paisley to be at for all of this to be going on behind the scenes?
Most definitely.
So you would say since the FaceTime calls have ended, you have noticed a positive improvement for Paisley. Is that fair?
Yes, she's very happy and thriving, whether it's in school or sports. She does a lot of sports. Just at home, you know, with new baby and her other sister, she's just doing really well.
Let me back you up to Michael. When was the last time that Michael saw Paisley in person?
April of 2024.
When was the last time Michael engaged in a FaceTime with Paisley?
January of 2025.
And he's obviously not here today. When was the last time that you had any contact with Michael?
Last time I spoke with him was just for the FaceTimes in January of 2025.
Do you fear if this court would grant some grandparent visitation that would impose confusion on Paisley?
I do. She's very, like I said, confident in her family dynamic and who she sees and
Welcome back, Incognito.
who she refers to as her grandparents or her parents, and very loved.
You say confident in her family dynamic. Do you mean that when asked who her dad is, who her grandparents are, she identifies the same people each and every time?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
What other fears and concerns do you have if this court would impose grandparent visitation?
Just the confusion for her overall. Like I said, it's very hard to explain these situations to a child. And I just kind of, I don't know if it'll affect like behavioral or just like her overall thought process with her, you know, her day to day.
Do you have concerns that the Coopers would attempt to circumvent this system and facilitate contact between Paisley and Michael?
Most definitely, yes.
What circumstances in the past give rise to that fear?
I mean, they have a strong pattern. Miss Debbie and Michael are extremely close. She's his biggest supporter for all of our court, everything since the beginning. And, you know, and even when Paisley was in her care for the FaceTimes while we were waiting for the CPS hearing so I could have her back, Paisley had mentioned that her dad was outside, you know, so it's like, I can't be for certain.
Do you fear that the Coopers would not respect your wishes, boundaries, directives as Paisley's mother?
Yes.
Do you have concerns about the time that Paisley would miss with her siblings in your home if she conducted visits outside of the state of Indiana?
Yes, they're very close. And so I feel like, I mean, it would definitely disrupt her overall schedule.
We've heard that there's some cousins, grandparent, or grandchildren in Mississippi, Nadine and Selah. Do you know anything about Paisley's relationship with either of those individuals?
I mean, nothing that's like necessarily current. I know, like, obviously when she was in her father's care, Michael's care, when Paisley was, he lived with Jenna at the time, which is Selah's mom. So obviously they were in pretty close proximity then.
I just have one question, Brent. Just one question. Was I flexible at least? I miss being flexible. Getting old sucks.
And that was her baby sister while she was with them. As for Nadine, like I said, she doesn't live here locally or there locally. So, I mean, just whenever they would see her, I guess, but not anything close.
So you want the court to not enter an order for grandparents. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Pass the witness.
I want to back up through some of your testimony here. When you were still living in Mississippi, and I believe your testimony was sometimes you would take Paisley to go visit the grandparents, sometimes the grandparents would come visit you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. About what percentage were each of those, you doing the travel versus them doing the travel?
I think it just depends. Like, I was active duty military, so I mean, if I was able to have them over that weekend, they were more than welcome to visit. Like I said, Paisley didn't go overnight anywhere without me for the first year at least. She was breastfeeding, so I didn't want to withhold her, and I would take her there if I was out their direction. Then I would stop by and let them see her.
This isn't public. Nobody knows about this live stream. It's very secret.
Or they would come to our home until Michael was given like his visitation.
But you would travel to take Paisley to visit the grandparents?
Yes.
And you recall at least one specific instance where they provided childcare for you for the day while you did something for work?
My nursing exam, correct.
But you can't recall other instances, but there could have been more?
I mean, there could have been. I can't recall an exact other than the nursing exam.
And your testimony was that the typical FaceTime calls that they had were somewhere between 5 and 25 minutes, depending on the call.
Correct.
And you said it would take a little bit of time to prepare Paisley, even after there had been some TikTok.
That's so kind, Brad. That is such a kind. First, I get to sit on a comfy couch. And I get to eat Mexican. I'm going to pretend that I had a margarita with it, and I hope you don't mind. That's such a lovely, lovely dream. I love it. 10 out of 10.
Time to refresh her for those calls, correct?
Correct.
About how long would that refreshing process take?
I mean, it just depended on what, if there was a big gap in the FaceTimes in between them, or if she just had more questions. Like, I wasn't rushing the process with her.
What would be a short one? What would be a long one?
Maybe 3 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. I mean, she was young.
So on the long end, we're still talking, it takes less than an hour for one of these calls and the preliminary process to take place.
Potentially, but the effects afterwards aren't just done in an hour. Paisley still has issues afterwards that,
And you mentioned that there were times that Paisley was really into the calls and some of them would take 25 minutes.
they could, yes. If she wanted to show them certain things, she was more than welcome to.
So there were calls where she was very engaged with communicating with her grandparents.
Yes, if she was excited about something.
And were you present for the entirety of those calls?
Yes, she was only like 4 of the times that she can't, when she has the phone, she'll hang up or anything like that on accident or.
So you reiterated twice that your biggest concern, when you were asked open-ended, your biggest concern was that she'll be confused about her family dynamic.
It's not just the family dynamic, it's the effects of it afterwards as well. There were certain comments made that I wasn't allowed to say verbatim, that Paisley has made that have alerted me, essentially, and that I've had to kind of reconstruct for her.
All right, but I'm specifically asking about your concern that she would be confused by the family dynamic. You mentioned that twice.
Yes, I am concerned with that as well.
Okay. And when you were clarifying that, you specifically described how she knows who her parents are, she knows who her grandparents are, she can list all of those, right?
The ones that are local, correct.
And you don't believe that she can understand that she has an extra set of grandparents that are related to her?
At this time, I'm not able to. She doesn't ask about them.
Okay. I'm not talking about her asking about them. I'm saying you don't believe that she can understand that there's an extra set of grandparents that are related to her?
She might.
Was Paisley ever enrolled in therapy?
I would be at Bren's house right now for dinner if he lived within 2 hours of me. Absolutely. Easily.
No.
You described how she would have a lot of confusion and she would cry about things and she was going through a lot. And you said going back to April 2024, and you never got her in therapy?
No, I decided that we, created some distance, and since then it's proven that she's doing much better and she's thriving.
You also stated that you were concerned that the Coopers would use any grandparent visitation order to facilitate contact with Michael. Is that correct?
Correct.
In what way would they be able to facilitate contact with Michael during a FaceTime call for which you're present?
I'm not able to speculate that. I don't know.
You cited it as a concern. How would that
It
be
is a concern. I don't know. I'm not sure how they would facilitate that, but it is a concern of mine. As a mom, I have to look at the overall possibilities.
T, what time do you have to be at the hospital? It's 6 a.m. here.
What I'm trying to understand is how that's a concern for you, specifically enough that you believe they shouldn't have contact with their granddaughter. So how do you believe under what they requested from this court, they would manage to facilitate contact with Michael outside of the restrictions of the paternity order?
I mean, I'm not sure then.
And you stated you're worried that they'll disrespect your wishes as Paisley's mother and the custodial parent, right?
Yes, pattern has shown that.
You heard both Tim and Debbie testify that they would respect your decisions regarding who's called dad or anything like that. You heard their testimony, correct?
I did hear their testimony.
Okay. And do you understand that if the court were to make it an order that they comply with that, violations of that could be grounds for losing any grandparent visitation, correct?
Correct.
So they've got some skin in the game, right?
Okay.
And you also cited a concern about Paisley missing time with her siblings, step siblings, if she were to visit Mississippi, right?
Correct.
But you heard the testimony and they're not asking to take her to Mississippi today, are they?
No, not today.
They're asking to come up here and visit her, right?
Correct.
Just like they arranged to visit her last April.
Correct.
And you canceled that visit less than 12 hours before they were supposed to depart, right?
I'm not sure about the time frame. If it was less than 12 hours, I wasn't sure their time of departure, but it was the evening before.
I think everybody's a good cook as long as I don't have to cook the food. Then it's delicious. It's so good.
When I sent her a message, yes.
And they had already made reservations for accommodations.
I'm not sure if they did or did not.
They had planned this how long in advance, would you estimate?
Maybe 2-3 weeks at least.
Like, how do they do it with these chairs, guys? Because look at the way the judge is. Ginny, you're right. I mean, he's going to fall. That chair is going to tip over. How do you get a job being paid as a chair tester? To sit in this chair in the weirdest positions that humans might possibly do it, so that you make sure you make a sturdy chair that doesn't just fall over.
And then it was the day before you decided they shouldn't come up at all.
Yes.
Was there something specific that changed your mind during that day?
I just honestly had seen Paisley, and she is, like I said, she was thriving and she's still thriving, but I did not think it was in her best interest to disrupt any of that.
There's not a specific reason?
What do you mean?
There wasn't some incident, there wasn't some threat or nasty comment or anything like that that would abruptly change your mind on that day? You just arrived at that conclusion that day?
There had been comments building up to that.
Incognito, I do love you. I hope you know this. I really do.
Mrs. Debbie Cooper, that had alarmed me to think like, okay, you need to be a little bit more, mindful. And then before I was like, it's just not, the reward is not worth the risk of Paisley's mental health.
You pass the witness.
Redirect.
Thank you. Micah, you stated that there were the phone calls, or I'm sorry, the FaceTimes plus the refreshing process would maybe last about an hour. And then I think you said the effects after the call would last thereafter. Be specific and explain what effects you're mentioning.
Paisley would ask myself and my husband Cooper, like she would say something like, my Nana says we're not of the same.
Objection, you're sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sustained.
Okay.
I wanted to hear
The
that.
effects that you observed from Paisley, were they comments, questions that she would make of you and Cooper?
Yes.
Okay. And those comments and questions, those were different than the comments or questions she would make from any other circumstance or situation presented to her. Is that correct?
Correct.
Were they alarming questions for you to hear?
Yes.
Did you think they were alarming questions for her to ask?
Yes, they were not her normal.
Okay, now we got another layer of this. When grandparents get visitation, then the child starts saying bad things about mom's boyfriend and mom to them. Grandparents, you got to teach your grandkids not to repeat what you say to the parents. That's like grandparent 101. Don't tell mom, don't tell dad. Here's a cookie. Don't tell mom, don't tell dad. If my children are watching, just so you know, me and your children are as full on don't tell mom, don't tell dad. I'm going to keep so many secrets from you, you don't even know. Snoopy, I have a confession to make. I'm telling you right now. When you go into surgery, if I come and visit you in the hospital when you're done, I'm eating your Jell-O. I am. What are you going to do? You can't get out of bed. I'm going to take it. I'm going to go stand way in the corner where you can't reach me. Eye contact the whole time. I'm going to eat your Jell-O.
And so did that give you fear or concern?
Yes.
Would Paisley ask those alarming questions?
Watch your mouth, T.
Those concerning questions for the rest of the day after a FaceTime, for multiple days after a FaceTime? What are we thinking?
Definitely the rest of the day, but it could go on to the next day. If she had more questions or
Thank you,
required
Dee.
more
Thank you.
reassurance or anything or clarity.
And you said that Paisley would sometimes cry after FaceTime calls?
Yes.
Your testimony on direct was that Michael had last had a FaceTime with Paisley in January of 2025. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Eileen, you're right. Most child mistreatment happens with mom and her boyfriend. You are 100% right. But for the same reason as most car accidents happen within 10 blocks of your house. It's because still, in this day and age, still, mom usually has custody. Kids are with mom more. So, yeah, they're gonna get mistreated more with mom. Actually, men top all the categories of crimes, except for child abuse. That's mom. And it's because mom has the kids. Dads visit the kids. Mom gets to live with the kids. Just like you get in a car accident within 10 blocks of your house because you drive those roads the most.
So he has a contact in January of 25, nothing thereafter. Paisley is indicating, or you are getting some indication from Paisley that these phone calls, FaceTime calls, may be causing her disruption, causing her anxiety, fear. And so then in April of 25, you make the decision to suspend this FaceTime contact, correct?
Correct.
Finally, Snoopy. It's been like 4 streams. And you finally said it. I was really wondering if it was really you. I was waiting for that specific comment to prove that it was really you. And you finally said it. Okay, you are Snoopy. I'm going to go with you are.
Okay. And is that a correct amalgamation of all of or some of the swirling concerns and complexities that you juggled with between January of 25 and April of 25?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the fact that Michael was cutting himself out or abandoning his daughter in January of 25 something that impacted your decision with regard to FaceTimes here?
Yes.
And you were asked about what you think the Coopers could maybe do to facilitate a FaceTime or to facilitate contact with Michael and Paisley through a FaceTime call. I think your testimony was you're not sure what they could do or something of that nature. Did I hear you, though, say that in a FaceTime call that you had with Paisley, there was indication that Michael was nearby?
Yes, when Paisley was in their care during the CPS situation, Paisley had mentioned that her dad was outside.
So,
but Paisley was inside their home at the time.
So it has happened that they have facilitated contact between Paisley and Michael when there is a legal process that did not permit that to happen.
Yes.
And if a FaceTime call would be happening between Paisley and the Coopers, and you then see, hear, learn that Michael is nearby, would that give you concern and fear for Paisley?
Yes.
Past witness.
Recross.
How did you know that,
Yesterday, YouTube sent me to the third person to help me because I think I was too mean to the last person that was helping me. He told me that my comments were turned off on my streams, which they never are. So I educated him on the difference between live chat and comments. And then I asked him specific questions, like how the F is comments being turned off affecting my live chat, sir? So yesterday I got a new lady at YouTube to help with the comments disappearing situation. And she started the conversation with me because I asked how are comments different from live chat, which was, I guess, a question. I did ask the question. She explained it to me. So I replied right away, yeah, I know the difference between comments and chat. I was asking you the last person to answer that because they suggested that my missing live chats were happening because my comments were off. And then I went on with 2 huge paragraphs and 5 screenshots, and she has not replied yet. But I didn't swear at her, so it's okay. It's fine.
How did you know that Michael being outside of their home was in violation of a DCS order?
From my understanding, Paisley was essentially, I don't want to say taken from us, but she was, instead of being warded to the state or whatever, she was given to Miss Cooper until after everything had been taken between me and Michael to court through CPS or DHS.
But you were permitted contact with Paisley at that time, hence why you were having a FaceTime call.
I was allowed to FaceTime her, yes, but I wasn't allowed to be there in person.
But you don't have any personal knowledge of what restrictions or exceptions were made for Michael on that day?
No, I was never given any of those documents.
Other questions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may step down.
Now that's a skill I don't need, Snoopy. I don't even want that skill.
Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Any rebuttal witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, as you're aware, sorry, I had to start taking notes on my computer because my pen died, but as you're aware, findings of fact are required. So how much time do you need to submit proposed orders with specific findings of fact and any authority that would support your position to the court?
30 days would be plenty.
I was going to request 45, just with a couple things that I have coming up. So I'd request 45, but
I have no objection to that, Your Honor.
Okay. Then let's take a look.
In Your Honor, I've elected not to present Mr. Cooper's affidavit. I believe there's an ethical question as to whether I should be doing that or not. My understanding is the court should receive it shortly as a filing from him, pro se. If the court could hold evidence open for a couple days to see if that arrives as a filing.
I mean, he can file that. I don't know if I can take that as evidence, as it would be subject to objection and hearsay. So it's not something I'm just going to accept. I mean, he may file it with the court, but from that standpoint, it's not subject to cross-examination. So I'm sure if it's filed, I'm sure I'll hear something from one of you, saying that that can't be considered and here's why, and then I'll deal with it. So here's what I'm going to do. So we have, today is March 17th. Let's make these two, just make it easy for me for math. Let's do it May 1st. Have your findings of fact complete and submitted. Court reporter will instruct you on how to do that. It's pretty simple. Everything is electronically filed now. These are not going to be, because if they go to the clerk's office, they expect me to deny or grant them. And obviously I have to do one or the other. What I do is I take them in Word format, pluck paragraphs from each, whatever I intend to use, and then add my own stuff so that I can then present an order. If Dad files something in the meantime, I will usually wait to see if there's any response, and then I'll address it at that time. All right. Anything else, Ms. Doty?
no, Your Honor, I hem and haw, and this statement gives me concern. It's a mysterious statement.
I'm not a juror, so as
Sure.
a judge, I can ignore stuff that I receive, and once I see what it is, usually, within a day or two, I'll get a response from one of you about whether I could consider that or not, and then I'll make a ruling. All right, that being said, I will take this under advisement after the final submissions of your proposed order so that my time starts ticking at that point for me to make a decision. Thank you for appearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I think I made a mistake, guys, but we're going full bore ahead because he's saying it's over and I still have an hour left of court. I thought they followed up the next day. I found 2 different days of this court and smushed them together because I really thought tomorrow we're just going to press play and see what happens.
This is cause number 46D0224.
Oh, they're different people entirely, aren't they? I was just looking at Grandpa. Okay, let's stop and talk about what we heard. Okay, here's what we heard. Mom stopped visitations. Okay. We heard Grandma told CPS Mom hurt the kids. Grandma took the kids away from Mom for a couple days, then gave them right back to Mom. Father has a protection order against him. Then we heard that the child is saying, making comments after phone calls with Grandma and Grandpa about her boyfriend and herself. It is a high bar for grandparents to cross. They have to do those 3 things. I love the child. The child loves me is legally not enough to overrule a parent's decision. I feel, though, that because there was some conversations in the background, I can't delete that one. I feel because there was FaceTimes before this, the judge is probably going to allow FaceTime. Probably going to say in the order, you may not disparage mom or boyfriend. Probably. So they are probably going to get once a month, once every 2 weeks FaceTime with the child. Although legally this judge could legitimately say you have to listen to mom. No visitation. It's up to her. Because there's this law, hold on, I was looking at this one law. It's right here. I promise it's right here. Toxel versus Granville. So courts give special weight to parents' decisions. It's heavy compared to what grandparents want. But look how old the judge is. He's probably a grandparent. Okay, that makes a big difference, Drunken Smurf, because grandparents can't even file, I don't think, in Indiana. Like I don't know if they're not allowed to, or they get more weight if the parents are divorced, and it's the other person's, the non-custodial parents. They have a better chance in court if the parents are divorced. They are divorced. So that actually does mean a lot. It also could work against them, though. Because if they are FaceTiming that child and their son walks in the door not knowing, oof, they just allowed dad to see the child by accident, completely by accident. And that would be the end. So, it's up to you guys. It's been an hour and 45 minutes. We can end here. I do have 54 minutes of content left. If we want to keep going, we can. If you guys had enough, you just had a stream yesterday, 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago, and you guys want to just go on with your day, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just going to babble for a minute while you guys, Tina wants to keep going. But that's because Twitch doesn't have this long delay that YouTube has, Tina, so we're going to have to wait for a few minutes for the Vibers on YouTube to tell me should I keep going or should we just meet on Bill's stream. Brent says keep going. Drunken's going to bed. Jude, keep going. You can babble all you want, dear. You can go to Bill's stream. Lena's? Unless Martha, do you have one of those special coffee cups? HJK with, the additional feature in it. No, we're not talking batteries. No, if you don't plug that into the wall, it's not strong enough. I'm going to press play before I get in trouble. Thanks, Snoopy.
My 1764. So for the record, your name, ma'am?
Tara Renee Perkel.
Thank you. Your name?
Tony Lynn Perkel.
Richard Burkle.
Thank you. So the parties appear in person with counsel. I think this was a petition for a modification of a grandparent visitation order. There's been an objection to that. Counsel, have you guys been able to work out any of your differences?
No, Your Honor.
Are you ready to proceed?
We are.
You may.
Hi, Jude. I'm talking to you, Jude.
I'll Tony Purple first as a witness.
Step forward to the witness stand.
Yes, First Your Honor, I would also call for a separation of witnesses. I'm not sure if the gentleman back here is here to testify or not.
Granted, I'll rely on counsel to inform their clients and the parties as to what a separation of witness means, so that obviously if you bring it to my attention, I can enforce it.
I'm not going to call this. Okay.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please be seated.
I don't know what this is because
Tony,
I
go ahead
didn't
and
watch
state
it.
your name for the record, please.
I am Tony Lynn Perkel,
And your address?
1705 West 10th Street, Michigan City, Indiana.
And you and Richard, your husband, were awarded grandparent visitation.
Boom! Boom! Did you see that? They're awarded grandparent visitation. I'm changing I said that the judge will probably give visitation. I'm changing it to he's definitely going to give visitation to the last grandparents. Definitely. Because they didn't actually, mom doesn't have to now, but she didn't actually prove that it's harmful. She doesn't have to. She doesn't. They have to prove that it's best for the child. I don't think they did, but mom didn't actually prove that visitation was harmful. I wanted to say something to somebody. Oh well, I lost it. Oh yeah, Mexican. Eileen, me too. I think I'm gonna get a beef chimichanga for lunch.
With your granddaughter, is that correct?
That is correct.
How long ago was that?
That was last year. I don't exactly remember. It was November. No, the beginning of December. We were granted.
Been over a year?
Yeah, it's been over a year.
And what's your granddaughter's name?
Daisy Mary May Perkel.
How old is she?
She is 10.
And you two are paternal grandparents?
Yes, we are.
And what happened to Daisy's father?
Daisy's father was ill. He had schizophrenia, defective disorder with bipolar. He wasn't taking his medication, and he killed himself.
So he's passed away, and that was the reason that we have the grandparent visitation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How How often do you see Daisy?
We get to see her one time a month
I'm interested, Snoop.
for one weekend overnight.
Now, going back to when the grandparent visitation was awarded, there were some restrictions that were agreed to at the time. Do you recall those restrictions?
Yes, I do.
What were those restrictions?
One of the restrictions was no posting pictures of Daisy on media sites for Rich and I. And the other one was Daisy was not allowed to sit on anyone's men laps because of their religion.
Now, addressing those restrictions, can you explain why you would like to have those removed?
Yes, I can. The first one, the media sites. When you're on media sites, if you go on Marketplace, and I'm sure Tara knows this, and you're selling items, you have to give Facebook, enable them to get pictures from your phone. And sometimes it takes all the photos. It doesn't limit to what you are selling at that point. We caught it twice. I did both.
Okay, what? Wait. Okay, wait. All right, what? What religion are you not allowed to sit on a man's lap? What religion says this? None. Zero. What do you mean Facebook takes all of the photos on your phone and doesn't let you pick which ones? What? Yo, I would be in jail twice, 3 times over if they got all the photos on my phone. I don't even know, so they're both crazy. I don't care who wins. They're both crazy.
Both of our phones were that we didn't enable it anymore. And so
Santa
we were
religion.
posting the pictures. It just saved the pictures to our accounts. So I went in and deleted all of them. And there's another fact on this picture posting. I have never done this, even before court, because I know how Tara feels about this. And I can understand. But we have people sending us photos of her. And other people are putting them everywhere. And we have, we've done our family. We talked to our family all through, even though they're not on the court, under the restriction, not to have pictures on their websites or posting anything. And they have done an example, my son, the same thing, he was selling on Marketplace, it popped up on his phone, he took it off. I just don't think it's fair if you don't do it, but Rich and I don't do that. And to have it on there is just like a slap in our face because we never posted pictures of Daisy. And then the other thing, the sitting on the lap part, it was never brought to our attention ever. And when it was, and it was done at this court, when it was said. And basically, I don't know why it's going on or what.
Miss Congeniality, Sandra Bullock, walking out of that bunker after they did all that work on her. Perfect. 10 out of 10. She looks fabulous.
Whatever, my son would take a picture and Daisy would sit on his lap for the picture. That's all the sitting on the lap there was. And her uncle, that's been with her since she was little, and they would get pictures together. And all of a sudden that became an issue, but it shouldn't have been something that would be put on a piece of paper. When we, show these orders, it looks like we're pedophiles or something. I don't know, because it's not right.
Do you feel that at times it interferes with your relationship with Daisy?
We have to be very careful with Daisy. For the simple fact, we don't want to offend her mother, and we don't want to break any rules. So it is interfering. We got to be careful with the pictures. We try to make sure at any event she's at that nobody posts them. And that sort of, it's, everybody shares their pictures here and there with family or whatever. We can't do that. And then as for sitting on the lap thing, it's just crazy because it was simple for pictures. That's all it was for. And now the pictures are like way out, afraid to even hug her. And so, my sons are all afraid. Like, they're being, looked at like they're evil or pedophiles. We don't think it's fair. And it's not fair to Daisy. She loves them, and she knows her moms. And if her mom said, don't sit on anyone's lap, Daisy will follow that rule. And that's fine, because that's her mom, and that's what the rule is.
So are you okay with following?
I told you I was going to mess up mute because they changed all my audio. Mom's going to win that one. Mom's going to win that one because it's religious beliefs. And the judge isn't going to go against religious beliefs. He's just not.
Her parents, her mother's rule, you just feel that it's somehow offensive or burdensome to have it in writing in the.
Yes. Before all this happened, we had a great relationship, and then things turned real bad. And that's when she met her fiance, and everything started to change. And she said, oh no, nothing will ever change. Everything changed. And I knew bringing another person in a situation, it does change. You get married, you have different things. And I understand that. But it just, I try to follow all of her rules because it's important for me to keep Daisy on the same predicament, because I don't want to be offensive to her mother, and I don't want to criticize or say anything like that. And I just feel that I try to respect Tara.
So if the
Good night, drunken.
the restrictions were removed from the order and a new order
Bye,
issued,
Venus.
you would still follow?
Yes, I would.
regulations?
Yes, I would.
Now, going back to the Facebook posts and the pictures on social media, are you saying that sometimes pictures get posted inadvertently?
No, they never get posted. They are saved to our camera roll on Facebook. So I have to go in and delete those photos off if I find them. And
I found ChatGPT says that conservative Islam, close physical contact is just not allowed. Ultra Orthodox Judaism, again, no, you have to keep your personal boundaries. And then certain conservative Christian groups, this is probably where she falls in. They have avoid improper closeness. I guess they have to save room for Jesus in between them. I do that all the time. When I see people on the dance floor, when I go out dancing, which I haven't in 2 years? You guys remember when I used to go to the Legion every Friday night? That was like 2 years ago, maybe more. I used to tell you about it in my streams, but I used to tell people all the time. I used to go right up in the dance floor, pull people apart, save room for Jesus. So maybe, so that's legitimate. There's legitimate religions. So yeah, she loses this one, but I don't know about the YouTube. I don't think she wins the YouTube either, because a judge can't overrule mom's decision on whether her children's photos can be on Facebook. Oh, listen, Bren, sir, if it's on the interwebs, it's true. Everybody knows that. Therefore, it's true. Even though it was ChatGPT who read this transcript and told me these two cases were the same one. That's why I recorded both of them. I watched the very beginning for a while until the handprint, until I got to the handprint on the child, and I'm like, okay, we're going to keep this one. Where does it end? I asked, where does it end? He said, there's no ending. So I got the next day. I said, okay, does it end here? I call him he. I don't know why. He said, oh yeah, this is the second part. So I saw Grandpa, white beard. I thought, yeah, that's legit. That's him. And recorded it. So it's true. Even though it's wrong, it's true.
Check the box in Facebook that they cannot have access to our camera, our pictures.
And you have done that?
Yes, twice now. And I regularly go in and check every month.
Snoopy, I have no proof that he is a man. None. Zero proof. I will ask ChatGPT.
But these pictures are not being shared. They're not being posted. But if someone goes to if they're friends, family, or whatever, they go to our pictures and photos and things like that, they will appear there. So I make sure the maintenance and make sure that it doesn't happen.
Since you've checked that box so it doesn't happen, has it done it again?
Yes, not again. It won't do it again. But like I said, if they're selling something, like he was selling something on Marketplace, which is involved with Facebook, he has to click, yes, you can get the photo. Because it isn't like he's taking the photo right then and making it go up. He has to give him permission to go to his camera roll. But you can try to be selective, but I'm not so clear on how to do that, but it takes all the photos. So if he sells something, even though it's checked and I know there isn't any, just in case someone sends us a photo, it's being saved, I go in and maintenance it.
Bren is not a common name for us here. I know zero Brens. So I guess I can see why. I didn't think you were female at all at any point. JK, on the other hand, came out of left field. I was sure JK was a female. He's not. He still is in my head, though, so there's nothing he can do about that. Maybe shock therapy. I don't know. But I can see why some people might think the word Bren is feminine. I don't know. I can get there.
Other people have sent you photos of Daisy
Yes,
through social media?
yes, to our, sometimes they wind up there, yeah. And, because they're posting, and, in fact, my sister-in-law said, hey, I thought you said no one could have pictures of Daisy on their Facebook account, the media site. And I said, yes, no one's to do that. Well, she goes, well, Amy has them all over. And they're all over her webpage.
Who's Amy?
Amy's the grandparent as well.
You have seen pictures on Amy's webpage?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And right before, I think it was November, there was still pictures and I downloaded all of them so that I have them. And then for some reason, all of them were taken off again.
Okay.
But it could be that she was selling something or she unchecked something. So I don't know. Because if you go to a person's Facebook account, you can look at all their photos and what they, profiles and everything they have. But it doesn't mean it's posted online.
Yes, it does.
Do you believe that
That's
you're
exactly
living
what
under
it means.
restrictions that other relatives are not required to?
Yes. Oh, yes. Especially if I'm willing to listen to the mother and follow some of her rules, which basically all of them, because I don't want to offend her or Daisy.
You can learn easily, Snoopy, how to be a girl. Just complain about everything, but never offer solid advice. Just do that. Try it.
If that restriction was removed regarding social media, you would continue to follow the wishes
Yes.
of others?
Yes. In fact, I have never posted a picture of Daisy on since I've had with her. I have never done that because out of respect for Tara's wishes.
Don't do it, Bren. You won't be happy. It's not okay. They're not great.
Now, there's an issue that I did not have in my petition that has since come up regarding phone usage.
Yes.
We can go ahead and address that, and I know Mother had just looked like was just filed a motion yesterday regarding phone usage.
Eileen, do you have any grandchildren?
Can you explain a little bit about what's
Children?
happening with the cell
Grandchildren?
phone?
Yes, I can. We came to court and we got our order and we were to get the last, hours in December visit. And then we were going to start overnight visits in January. A week after court, this is where we are. She comes to my house to bring Daisy. She says, Daisy's got a new phone. She's to carry it with her at all times. And she said, it does not have internet. Okay. I didn't understand this because I just didn't understand it, but okay. So when we were leaving the house to go to my brother-in-law's for that Christmas function, this is after Christmas, Daisy tells me I'm sorry, she has to text her mom.
Snoopy, you've been through this surgery, what, 6 times now? I don't know how many times. You'll be fine. Look, they're gonna fix it finally. You have been dealing with this for too long. This time they're gonna fix it. This time's gonna be different. You'll be fine. You better come in here after surgery. Not right after surgery. I don't want to talk to anesthesia, Snoop. Nope. No, I feel like I'll get demonetized if you do. You're gonna be fine though, okay?
When we leave the house, when we get there,
Objection,
and
Your
when
Honor. Hearsay.
Mr. Woodcock?
I only know of 6.
I witnessed
and
it.
15.
Well,
You're the lawyer, explain.
you're not able to say what Daisy told you.
Okay, I do. I witnessed her texting, and the only people that she could text at that time is her mother and her ex-fiance or fiance, whatever it is. And she texted her before we left. She texted her when we got there. I made her leave the phone in the car. There's too many people around. So I left it in the car. And then when we got out in the car to go home, she texted her again. And she texted someone again that we arrived home.
Do you always have a cell phone on you?
Yes, I do.
Does Richard also always carry a cell phone?
Yes, he does.
So if at any point in time, Mother wanted to reach out to Daisy, she would be able to do that through the 2.
Yes, definitely.
Did you also, was there ever any situation where you felt that the phone was being tracked?
Oh, yes.
Thank
It is
you,
a tracker
Jude.
phone.
Thank you.
It is for her safety, as her mother said it was. It is a tracker phone, and she probably has her on a family plan where she has the parental controls of that phone. And yes, it can be tracked.
Has there ever been any point in time where you received a phone call asking why the phone wasn't moving?
Yes.
When was that?
Actually, it wasn't a phone call. It was when she picked her up that Christmas because the phone didn't move around. And then also there was another time where she was trying to call Daisy and text Daisy. I didn't realize she had the phone. And she ended up texting me, why isn't Daisy answering her phone? And I didn't even know she had it. And this has been we try to keep Daisy out of it because I don't want Daisy a part of that. But it's still a part of her because every time she comes into my house, I say, Daisy, you have to have your phone. And we put it up. And it's just not right. It really isn't.
Do you believe it's a phone that can be turned on to listen to conversations?
Yes. There's many things out there that can do that. AI is very technical and Tara is very technical. And yes, it can be used other ways. You can actually, what is it called? Besides remotely put on the microphone to hear the information around your child. Not so much, oh, you're recording things, but it can be done that way to her mother. These are different things that they have out there, and her service probably has most of them. But there is so many different things, and
Your Honor, this is speculation. She doesn't even know what's on the phone.
no, because I don't have the phone number and I don't have the access.
Ma'am,
I'm sorry.
your lawyer responds for you on the objections, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mr.
I
Woodcock?
believe she's testifying as to what her beliefs are as to why she's objecting to the phone being in her presence.
I think she can state what she's worried about. But she can't state that what's happening on this particular phone because she does not know.
Okay,
Go Mr. Woodcock's next question.
How has this phone being in Daisy's possession, how has it affected the visitations that you have with Daisy?
well, I think it's bad because Daisy shouldn't see her mother and me or her grandfather argue over this little thing. And she knows that we don't want it. She knows the reason why we don't want it. We just feel disrespected. We've tried to talk to the mom about this. If it was something that we did wrong and didn't let Tara know or anything, and she didn't have access to Tara, I can understand this. She is 10 years old. And, you know, I just don't know. I don't know where she's using this phone, but I know it's packed every week in her bag. And my beliefs, anything can be done. And I'm sorry, I have become less trustful.
Have you ever refused any communication between Daisy and Tara or Tara and Daisy at any time?
Never, never. In fact, I'm the one that takes her the phone at night because Daisy doesn't even remember to do it, and take her the phone and make her call her mother. Every night she spends the night at my house.
So you'd like to see the court remove the restrictions and continue the visitations that you have with Daisy?
Yes, I would.
And not make the phone in her possession a requirement?
Exactly. We only have her 1 weekend a month, 1 weekend. And Tara can get a hold of us anytime. I really want this all to stop. I really do.
I don't have any further questions, Sean.
Cross.
You agreed to these restrictions a year ago, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe that Tara has a fundamental she deems reasonable?
I do believe that she is trying to be a good mother, and yes, she should have those rights.
Okay.
But, go ahead.
You're also aware that Tara follows these restrictions in her own personal life, correct?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of?
No, I'm not that I'm aware of.
Have you ever seen Tara post anything on social media with Daisy?
Never. That's why I never done it.
Gotcha. Have you ever seen Tara allow her to sit on the lap of a male?
Yes,
Who?
her ex-fiance at Daisy's recital.
Okay. When was that?
That was, I think it was 2 years ago.
I don't believe
So-
her. I think that's a lie. I don't know why, but I think she's lying.
That was something that you knew that she may or may not have done before you agreed to this.
I brought it up to Tara.
But even knowing it, you still agreed to the terms.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We agreed to it.
Okay. Did you know that Tara didn't let Daisy participate in a dance recital because it was going to be posted on social media?
No, the only dance recital that I knew that she didn't participate in was when she had lice.
Was singing.
I'm sorry. Did you know that she didn't allow her to participate in a singing concert?
For the record, every cat in this house walks all over me, literally. I will be trying to sleep and they just walk. They start at the bottom and go the whole way up. They don't walk around me. They don't walk over me. They walk up me. So, a fair game. Turn around is fair game.
As of social media?
No, I did not.
Okay. You mentioned some things about people sending you photos. You mentioned Amy.
Yes,
Amy is, you've noticed that Amy had posted some things on social media.
yes.
Was that prior to entering into this order?
It was prior and after.
Okay. So you were aware that those things were out there, but yet at the time, and back in January 2025, you still agreed to these restrictions.
For me, yes.
All right, cats. My religion does not allow you to touch me anymore. All right, JK. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Stomp them. I said stomp, I think. I meant to.
Now you mentioned that also that your son had taken pictures of Daisy sitting on, was it his lap?
Yeah,
Okay,
her uncle's lap.
gotcha. When was that?
Oh, it's prior to the court. I can tell you that much. There's no pictures like that anymore at all.
Okay, so again, these are things that were around before you entered into this order.
Yes, and then Kara was aware of it
Okay.
because I sent her the pictures. And also, for her birthday, her uncle gave her a picture frame of all the different pictures of him and her. Yes. And it was never said.
How do these restrictions interfere with your relationship with Daisy?
Daisy, I don't think it interferes in our relationship regarding these two restrictions because it's always been that way. Sitting on the lap, I think she's conscious of it and I think it bothers her too because she loves her uncle and it doesn't mean anything when he's hugging her or, it's just a picture to her. It's just them together, but it's not done anymore. So I think the closeness is being taken away.
Is your inability to post a picture or to let her sit on a lap get in the way of the time that you get to spend with her?
No, it does not.
Okay. Earlier you said that if these restrictions were removed,
Nan, you are the greatest part of my stream, hands down. You win the internet all the time. You win.
you would still follow them.
Out of respect, yes. I have always followed her rules.
If that's the case, then why are we here today?
We are here to discuss a thing that basically, to me, we're here because of the phone and the situation. I want to resolve this matter. I want the best things for Daisy. I want a relationship with Tara, and I want to have a good relationship.
In regards to the phone,
Why though?
is there an issue?
Why couldn't it have been any other letter? Why did it have to be that one letter? It could have been the Z. No, it's the I. There's a U, there's an O. No, it picks I.
Issue with mom being able to know where her daughter is?
No, she can always pick up the phone and call me. I have my cell phone. And I took her to Raging River Water Park last year. I took all the kids. It was a surprise. But generally, I let Tara know where we're going and what our plans are. In fact, I've even called her up or texted her about, is this movie appropriate? I don't want to take her to a movie if it's not something that she likes.
Do you think it's inappropriate for a mother to know where her child is independently of you telling her?
No, it's not. For crying out loud. Mom, let the kid go to the grandparents' house and then go do something. Go shopping. For crying out loud. Jeez.
You know, there's a fine line between that, okay? In my opinion, this is to hinder our relationship and to involve herself in our weekend. It's only our weekend. We only have 2 days a month. And to feel like we're being listened to or we're being tracked, it's an insult, especially in my opinion, especially doing all this for, what is it, 10 years, 11 years of relationship? It's an insult. It's disrespectful. And, you know, and I know why it was done. It was done because we were going to have overnights, and she never was like that before. And I don't understand it. I really don't. And it's her right to do what she wants on her time in her house, but this is my house. And our time is limited with Daisy. And I will never say, no, you can't call your mother, you can't text your mother, or tell your mother where we've been.
I will tell you one thing about Nan. She's super sexy. She's hot. She really is. I saw her picture. Ooh.
And in fact, I give her the phone. She talks to her mother by herself. I walk out of the room. I don't even listen. Because that's her mother. And I understand that. But having this phone that can be tampered with or put things on, and it's my speculation. I don't know about the phone because, like I said, we don't have access to the phone. We don't have the number. Daisy can't text us. If we're out in a store, Daisy gets lost for some reason, she has this phone. Who's she going to text? Her mother. That's all she has. Because we're with her and we can't find her.
Is there
It
so
could
you have an
happen.
issue with Daisy being able to communicate directly to her mother without going through you?
She communicates with her mother. Well, does she have an issue with me talking to Daisy without going through her?
My question is, do you have an issue? What is the issue with her communicating directly to Daisy without going through you? That's my question.
It's and record.
I'm asking you, what is the issue? Oh, I'm sorry, I strike that. Okay, fine. Daisy's 10, that's what you said, correct?
She's 10, yeah.
Okay. Is there ever going to be a point where if Daisy's 14, 16 years old, is she going to be allowed to have a phone then?
You know what? By then, she'll be a teenager and she may not want to come and see her grandparents every week, every month, once a month. We have no telling what the future brings. And as for the phone, she's more than welcome to come to our house, but she can leave her phone wherever her car or wherever, and she can come into our house. As of right now, my issue is I don't trust Tara anymore, and I'm sorry.
So your answer is that she will never be allowed to have a phone.
Well, she probably won't be visiting us after that age anyway.
Do you have the same restrictions on other people who come to your house? Are they allowed to have their phone?
They're all adults.
See, here's the problem, Snoopy. Once you get to the point where me and Nan are at, you don't have enough of anything to date. You don't have enough of anything to entice us to go out on a date. It's just not gonna. I mean, I'll go out on a date with Nan. No, never. It's just not gonna happen. Why in the world would Nan go out on a date? Why would she do that to herself? Why? No, gosh, no. I'd rather go to jail.
But you trust them.
Do I trust them? Didn't they record me? Yes.
You allow the people that you trust to have phones, but not your granddaughter.
Well, my granddaughter's young right now. That's the stipulation. You know, things change.
Nothing further.
Redirect.
But didn't I see your picture before? Now, granted, I only saw the back of your head, but you didn't look 60 at all. You looked like 30. Yes, it's a different type of date in jail, but preferable. It's preferable than willingly, consciously going through all of that bull again.
Question short.
It took me a week to get ready.
Thank you.
I would call Richard Perkins.
Please step forward. Your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Richard, go ahead and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Richard Perkle. I live at 1705 West 10th Street.
And Richard, I'll be somewhat brief because I believe Tony's pretty much put out your position as well. Is that correct?
Yes,
You heard Tony's testimony?
yes,
Is there anything that you would like to add to what she stated?
yes.
What would that be?
I don't like this phone bit at all. The whole thing with the Facebook and stuff. If she looks on there and sees that there's a picture on there that wasn't supposed to be on there or something, she had my son arrested for a friend request, and she had him arrested. And I don't even want her to have any kind of power of getting me arrested for something.
Dude, no, stop. What are you doing, sir? Don't be an idiot. The visitations that you get right now are in her hands. Why are you intentionally pissing her off? Why are you attacking her on the stand? Dumbass, what are you doing? You're going to lose visitations for both of you if you don't stop. I don't even want to press play because he's...
Something I didn't even do. Like I said, with these pictures and stuff popping up. It happened to me a couple times, and I don't like that a bit. Saying that even though didn't do it on purpose, I could still be drug into court over it.
So with that restriction remaining as a court order, it's your concern that if a picture inadvertently pops up, that you're going to be in trouble for that?
Yes.
And I believe there was some testimony that there has been, when you were trying to sell something, some pictures had been downloaded from your phone. Is that correct?
They popped up. I don't even know where those pictures came from.
Okay.
There was a whole bunch of pictures that, it's like the ones that pop up saying, look, here's with your dogs, and boom, there's pictures of Daisy. And those are pictures that I never even took. So where they came from, I don't know.
Okay.
But they were on my phone.
And your concern is with that stuff being in a court order, that could create a problem. Regarding the phone and the other restrictions, is there anything you wanted to add there?
Not really.
I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examine.
Again, you understood these restrictions when you entered into the agreement a year ago, correct?
Somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat?
Hi, Walter.
I didn't think these pictures were going to be popping up on my phone.
Regardless of the pictures on your phone.
I would venture to say 99.9% of women aren't attracted to looks. They're attracted to personality and confidence. Is 100% correct. 1000% correct. Doesn't matter at all what you look like. But, so my son, who is 22 and single, we were talking about, how he met one of his girlfriends, one of the girls that are in his sphere right now, and he's like on an app. I said, get off the apps. Anyway, my daughter was like, what? Saw him flipping through the apps. She's like, why are you flipping so fast? You have to read the bio. You can't make a decision just by looking. You're just flipping through it so fast. And he says all of the bios are exactly the same. I said, no, they're not. I said, go ahead and read 5 bios to me right now. They were all different, right? But, and he told me later that he wasn't swiping left on all of them so fast. He was swiping right. He didn't care one bit who they were. He's like, swiping right means that you are interested. Swiping left means you are not interested. He was just swiping. He was just swiping right on everybody. And he says, then I'll talk to them. And if they're pretty, and he did say those words, if they're pretty, I'll talk to them. And then we got into this large, long conversation of, why did you just say if they're pretty? Why did you pick all of the traits that a woman could have? You specifically said if they're pretty. You pointed out that one. He says, well, I have to be attracted to them. I said, but isn't their sense of humor more important? Isn't their religion more important? Isn't there this or that or this or that more important? Why did you only pick out pretty when you were talking to me? So that's not how it works. So you're not going to get anywhere thinking like that. See, Snoopy got it right. But I mean, guys, that's high up on a list. That's like one of the first things, and you can't really do anything about it. You are born the way you are born, and I have filters. I have a whole bunch of filters in this little camera. I really actually have wrinkles right here because I'm 53 years old. So of course I have wrinkles right here. I laugh a lot, like a lot. I laugh at inappropriate things all day, every day. Inappropriate. Should not laugh at these, and I'm giggling away. But I have filters. But if you saw me in real life, you would be like, ugh, what the hell is that? But yeah, hopefully my son heard me. I don't think he heard me, but hopefully he did.
You entered into an agreement that was put on the record back in January of 2025 regarding the terms of this grandparent visitation. Do you remember doing that?
Yes.
Okay. At that time, you were aware of the restrictions related to sitting on laps and posting on social media. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you willingly entered into that agreement.
Yes.
Okay. What has changed from that date to today that would necessitate
The whole
removing those
thing
restrictions?
is if I had a picture taken with Daisy or whatever, or someone was spying on me, I don't even want my granddaughter around me because they'll say, oh, look, we got a picture of this. The whole thing makes me look like a freaking pervert. I never did nothing to my granddaughter, nor would I ever. And this whole judgment looks like I'm a freaking pervert.
Okay.
I never thought it would make me feel that way, but it made me feel that way 100%.
Okay. Is it more important to you to be able to post pictures and have your granddaughter sit in your lap than just doing visitation?
I would do anything to spend time with my granddaughter. The other day, she came over and she could not have a visitation because I refused to let that phone in my house. The phone is out of this world. I can't even imagine how much that irritates me.
Do other people come to your house with phones besides Daisy?
Other people don't have a legal mess like I got with.
There's currently no restriction in the court order about her having a phone, correct?
There was nothing saying that there was a stipulation that she had to have a phone to come to my house.
Agreed. Her having or not having a phone is not a term in relation to your visitation, correct?
When we left here, they said there will be no more stipulations. Immediately, there was a stipulation with the phone.
You mentioned something about your son being arrested for asking for a friend request on Facebook, correct?
Yeah, but he probably has a protection order out against him, dumbass. This case is annoying me. Brad, I might feel lonely. I don't know. I might feel lonely like once every couple months. Like something might happen and I might say, oh, I wish I could, be with someone else, share this with someone. Like when my mom stole my cats, that I wish that, there was like a shoulder I could have cried on at that point. But I'll tell you something. When I was married for 19 years, I felt crushing loneliness almost every day. When I'm when I moved in. So since the divorce, I moved in with one guy, fell in love with another guy. When I moved in with that one guy, lonely, crushing loneliness, because now I'm not getting any attention and I'm not allowed to go elsewhere for attention. Now I can go wherever I want for attention, whenever I want, however I want. If I need something, I go and get something, you know? If I need a shoulder to cry on, I could go and get a shoulder to cry on. If I need whatever, and then the worst loneliness was the last guy, the fall in love with guy, because it was so bad. It's just, when I'm in a relationship, I'm way more lonely than I am ever outside of it. I mean, yes, sometimes we all need someone sometimes, but I don't really need a relationship to get my needs met. I don't. I mean, I can get my needs met in a whole bunch of ways. It doesn't have to be traditional. It doesn't have to be what men have told us we really do need. We don't need it. That's why.
Correct.
Yes.
Are you aware that my
Okay,
client has
I'll
a
cry.
protective order against that person?
That was a total BS protection order.
But do you understand that by him contacting her, even for a Facebook request?
She would have me arrested for anything, so I don't want to even do with the phone.
And you're aware that my client lives by these same restrictions that she had requested and that were subsequently added to?
I don't know what her restrictions in her life are.
Okay.
I don't track her. I don't care what she does, but I just care about my granddaughter.
Gotcha. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Woodcox, redirect.
Now, you were asked questions about people coming into your house with phones. Is it your objection to this phone because it has tracked you in the past?
It's tracked us and it is just, it's ridiculous. We only have our granddaughter for a short amount of time. And for someone to call and say, oh, why isn't the phone moving? That means that they're watching us wherever we go. I find it ridiculous.
So other people that come to your house with phones in their pockets are not tracking you? Is that
No.
correct?
Okay, now both of these lawyers are idiots. Mom's lawyer should have asked him way more questions to get him angry. He's already on the edge of flipping out. I would have just pushed him right over the edge if I was her lawyer. I would have. This lawyer needs to shut him up, and he's asking him more questions. This lawyer needs to get him off of the stand immediately.
You entered into this agreement back in, I believe, January of 25 with these restrictions.
No, it wouldn't.
Was that to avoid or to try to have a better relationship with Tara and with Daisy? I guess what I'm asking you, if you didn't stipulate to those agreements, you were going to have to come into court. Is that correct?
Right.
You were going to have to come into court and there was going to be arguments made against each other.
Right.
Is that correct? Were you attempting to not have to make those arguments?
I just felt like leaving that day.
I'm sorry?
I just felt like it was done. It was fine, whatever. I didn't realize it was going to make me feel like such a dirty person. When I'm explaining to somebody else that, oh, I got these stipulations where my granddaughter, I can't hug my granddaughter or touch my granddaughter. Ridiculous.
Does that interfere with your relationship with her?
Yes, it does.
I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Recross.
There's no stipulation of a restriction on you hugging your granddaughter, correct?
I don't even know what the restrictions are. It's ridiculous.
Have you seen this order?
I've seen the order.
Okay. Nothing.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Vicki, you may sit down.
Come on, dude, push him over the edge. What is wrong with you? Go
Your Honor,
back to
I call
law
Tara
school.
Renee Pickle.
You step forward.
They can hug her, Nan. That's not against that's just what he said. He's just not allowed to put her on his lap.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Please state your name for the record.
Tara Renee Perkel.
Terry, you're familiar with the order that you were a part of related to the grandparent visitation back about a year ago in January of 2025?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're aware of the restrictions that were added to that order, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep, this is Mom.
And
Thank you, Jude.
were
Thank you.
here in court and you agreed to those terms on the record, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One of those restrictions is a prohibition on posting pictures of your daughter on social media. How important is that restriction to you?
It's very important to me. I never did it with my son. My son is now 21 years old. My daughter, she does now take singing classes, and they said, hey, we're going to have a spring concert. Would you like her to participate? But we will post it on social media. And I said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to decline. And I told Daisy, and she was disappointed. But I said, baby, I'm sorry, but I can't do this. And then I was going to take her to Sky Zone, I would say a little over a month ago. And I signed up online. We were going to go ahead and take it. And they have this waiver that you.
Guys, have you ever been to Sky Zone as a participant? Not just you take your kids, your grandkids to like Sky Zone, and then you watch them jump around with their friends. I mean, have you ever put the socks on and so if you don't have Sky Zone where you live, it's a big trampoline park. So they have all these trampolines that are together, and you can jump around on them, and you know, some of them are slanted and against the wall, and it's just a whole bunch of trampolines. They also have like you know those pits that gymnastics use that are filled with those foam blocks? So it's that. All right, have you guys gone and participated, like got on those trampolines? Oh my God, I didn't last hardly at all. I was on there for a few minutes and I thought I was going to die. I thought it would be fun. I got I got those mental ward socks on, and I got onto those trampolines, and I was ready to have a blast. Yeah. And I almost died. Like, I think maybe I did die. I'm not sure. It was bad. It took me forever to recover. I had to sit. Someone had to get me water. I'm never, ever doing that again, ever.
You have to sign. And one of the waivers is that they're allowed to take pictures of you and post it on social media. And I'm like, that's not okay. But then I went and I did some Google searching, and it said that they can give you a piece of paper that you can sign a waiver saying that you can agree to all the other stipulations, but you're declining to have your child post on social media. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. So we go to Sky.
Okay, I actually have 13 minutes left of this, but I have to take my daughter to work in like 11 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to figure out how to speed this up a tiny bit. I just need a minute or two. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Sky Zone in person the next day after church. And they said, no, there's no such thing as that piece of paper. And I said, well, I've already paid. What do we do? And they're like, well,
Council, what's our status today?
Do reimbursements. And I said, baby, I'm so sorry. And she was so upset. And I'm just like, baby, I'm so sorry. But we got out to the car and I said, honey, I apologize. But then I found this place called Urban Air. And I called them and I talked to them and I told them what was going on. Told them, we don't do social media. They said, not a problem. I said, great. So they gave me a paper to sign, and nowhere in there is there, hey, we post our pictures on social media. I'm like, awesome. So Daisy and I go every Sunday after church when she's with me to Urban Air.
I can feel you getting a little emotional there.
A little bit.
This is a very important issue to you.
It is.
Is it a religious issue?
It's not a religious, it's just about safety and whatnot, because I just know that there's so many terrible things out there. And it's like, I felt the same with way with my boy. And it's like, I'm going to do the same thing with my daughter. I live for my kids.
Earlier, there was some testimony about Amy having some pictures that were posted. You're aware of that, correct?
I am, and I have asked her to take them down. And the last picture that I've seen was from 2023, and all the other pictures that I've seen are very old. I don't like it, and I've asked her to take them down. But unfortunately, I can't force her hand unless I would bring her to court, you know?
And again, that was before, those pictures were posted before you entered into the current order.
That's correct.
Now, in relation to the sitting on laps restrictions, do you allow Daisy to sit on males' laps in your presence?
No, I mean, I know they recall that she did at that dance recital, but honestly, I don't recall. I was back behind stage helping my daughter change in and out of her costumes and stuff, that I really don't remember what was going on. I spent more time backstage than I did actually watching the show. And she doesn't sit on my father's lap. She doesn't sit on my son's lap. My son's 21. She loves my son. I mean, those two have never argued. To her, her son's like, her brother's like the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, she just loves her brother.
Now, you are a religious woman, correct?
Yes.
What's your religion?
Pentecostal.
Okay. And part of that religion, you and Daisy both wear skirts or dresses every day.
Every day.
Gotcha. Okay. So in your mind, that adds to the validity of needing this restriction?
That's correct. I'm constantly telling her to sit like a lady to make sure that she's, you know, proper and things like that, because it is important to me.
Okay. Do you feel that that restriction for other than the grandparents here, with the other males in your life, do you feel that that restriction gets in the way of her relationship with other friends or family members?
I don't think so, because even the school, they had me sign a waiver saying that they can't put her on social media. So what they do is they take a group picture and she's in the picture, but they put like a cougar kind of thing on top of her face. So you can't see that it's her.
Okay. But in relation to the lapse thing, do you think that that restriction gets in the way of any other family members?
I don't think so. My father hasn't said anything. My son hasn't said anything.
In relation to this phone issue, when did you buy this phone for Daisy?
I bought it for her as a Christmas present.
This past Christmas, like a couple months ago?
No, it was 2025.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was purchased before this order even went into place?
Actually, it was, but afterwards, it was a late Christmas present.
Okay. And what are the capabilities of this phone?
This phone, it's through a company called Gab. It's not even through the Verizon, which is my provider. It's called Gab, G-A-B-B. And they specialize in child safety phones. And all it can do is she can talk, she can text, she can take pictures, she can listen to music. It does have a GPS on it. And I just recently discovered that it doesn't have a recorder, but I don't have any access to it. She would have to turn a recorder on or off.
Okay. And what was the purpose of getting her this phone?
I wanted her to have a way of communicating with me just in case anything would happen. It was more or less like a safety kind of thing.
Okay. Are you using it in a way to get to interrupt her visitation time with her grandparents?
Absolutely not. That's why I don't try to call or text or anything during the day. But like I always say when I'm dropping her off, hey baby, make sure you call me, before you go to bed, because I want to hear you before you go to bed.
Okay.
And Tony's really good about making sure she does that.
Okay. I mean, do you have any specific concerns about Daisy's safety with her grandparents?
I would say that there's a lot of lack of trust, because there have been times where not this last Christmas, but like the Christmas before, they said that they were going to go to Gigi's house for Christmas, but then they ended up going to, I think, Uncle Ted's. I didn't find that out until later on. They do have a son that does live with them that does have some other mental issues. Not that he's done anything to Daisy or whatnot. And she has a bedroom upstairs with a bed and everything, but Daisy sleeps downstairs on the pull-out couch with Tony. And the only reason I know this is because Daisy told me. And I don't understand why that would be necessary. So do I feel that Daisy needs to have a phone? I do, just in case.
Okay. So at this point, your request to the court is to leave the restrictions about social media and the sitting on laps in place.
Absolutely.
Okay. You believe that there's been no change in circumstance whatsoever from the date of when this order was put in place and today?
No.
Okay. And you're also asking that she be allowed to have her phone with her when she's on those visits.
Absolutely, but I don't need her to call or text me throughout the day or whatnot. Yes, I may have asked for that when she first got, just kind of like get into the habit of having a phone because she never had one before, but it's not necessary.
And you're not using that phone to spy on her grandparents?
No.
Gotcha, okay. Also, you've missed work to be here today, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and did you have to take the day?
I did.
Okay, and what were your lost wages for today?
Well, I was able to take PTO.
Okay, and you had to hire an attorney to come against this, to fight this petition, correct?
That's correct.
And how much did you pay to hire an attorney?
$2,000.
And you're asking the court to reimburse, have the plaintiffs reimburse you for that?
That's
cost.
correct.
Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross. Have you ever used that phone to track the movements of Daisy while she was with grandparents?
I've checked the GPS, but just to see if it's actually working, because there's times where she's with me and we've left it at home and it still says, that it's not like lining up. So I've tested it a couple of times, but no, it's not the spy.
But you did track her movements.
I tried to see if the GPS was working.
Are there any other family members that have same written restrictions as the Perkles here do?
It's not written, but they all respect my rules. I mean, my father doesn't post anything on social media. My son doesn't,
But Amy does?
Amy has, but like I said, I have asked her to remove them. And the last photo that I've seen that she posted was back in 2023.
Do you have any reason to believe that Tony and Richard Perkle would also not respect, or that they would respect your wishes as well, even if it wasn't in writing?
I don't know what they would or would not do. I never imagined that they would bring me to court the first time that they did last year, because the summer before, they were not only getting her 1 weekend a month before there was even an order, they were getting her every Thursday and Friday during summer break. So to go to court was a complete surprise to me.
Did you have any of those restrictions on them prior to this court order?
No.
Now, let me first question, Your Honor.
Redirect.
You just said you didn't have those restrictions prior. You were not posting things on social media before this order, correct?
No, I mean, I'm a reseller and I post stuff all the time and it has access to all my photos, but none of the pictures that I've ever taken of my son or daughter have ever ended up on Facebook. You had these restrictions for your children. Oh, yes.
Before this order went into.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I misunderstood the question.
This wasn't something new that came up last year.
No.
Nothing further.
Sorry.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may step down.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm interested on what legal authority do either of you have to support your respective arguments or position, if any? Any case law, any statutes, anything out there?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that to do a modification of a visitation order, generally there needs to be a continuing change in circumstance. I don't have the case or the statute that would in person. I'm happy to brief that if you would like us to afterwards to do a findings of fact.
I'm interested in that, and also just the inherent rights of a parent to then set conditions on visitation. So
I would just say if that's what if you're requesting that, I would make an oral motion to do findings of fact and conclusions of law now before you issue an order.
Mr. Woodcox.
Your Honor, I mean, I would agree that the biological mother here does have the right to direct how things go that might involve the child's health, education, and welfare. The grandparents can't interfere with that parent-child relationship. I will concede that. In this case, however, these restrictions have become burdensome to the point that they're interfering with the relationship that the grandparents have with this child. They're interfering with that relationship that this court had previously found to be in the best interest of the child by granting the grandparent visitation. Removing the restrictions do not interfere with the parent-child relationship in any way, and nor do they conflict with parental decisions about the child's health, education, or welfare. The parties have testified they'll continue abiding by those restrictions, as do all the other relatives involved in this child's life. But having them in writing is what is becoming burdensome and somewhat offensive, to the point of embarrassment and interfering with that relationship. And that's the reason that they're asking that those just be removed.
All right. I'm going to go with your suggestion that you provide.
He's taken it under advisement. I got to get my daughter to work, so that's what's happening. Maybe tomorrow we can discuss what we think. I just have to go now. I paused it too much to talk. Thanks for coming out, guys. Love you, love you, love you. Bye.
Well, I thought I'd write a happy song. I found a chat room where I belong. You don't know how much it means to me. With such a groove, I'm less lonely. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her smile shines bright, she's got that grace. Come join the fun, it's a welcome and play. I can count on distraction from my pain, 'cause this creator takes you there and back again. Kathy is the heart here, always in stride. Her work is hard, but her joy she can't hide. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her style is classy, she's always top shelf. Don't take my word, come and see for yourself. Her cases are new with a twist or two. I really like them, I believe you will too. A little lifeline passed along in rhyme. Why don't you join us? It's a guarantee.